going to talk about tuning. And here's the game plan. We're going to talk about tuning by ear, which is totally appropriate for solo playing. In order to tune a 3-string cigar box guitar, we need the following relationships between the strings. We need a perfect fifth between strings 1 and 2, and then we need a perfect fourth between strings 2 and 3, and then that'll result in strings 1 and 3 forming a perfect octave. The relationships that you need. You need a perfect fifth here between strings 1 and 2. That's the Star Wars interval. Da 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 da. If you can sing Star Wars after playing those first 2 strings, you got your tuning right. Alright? And then you need a perfect fourth between the 2nd and 3rd string. Perfect fourth, a song reference for that. Here comes the bride, here comes the bride. So if you can sing that, you got a perfect fourth. And then you want to check your 1st string against your 3rd string and make sure you have a perfect octave. And it should sound like one note. A perfect octave, there should be no beating in a perfect octave. It's the only pure interval in our tuning system, by the way. So you want to get that right. Okay? So how do we achieve this? I'm gonna show you 2 ways to achieve that tuning by ear. And by the way, this is called open tuning. Now, the first method is the easiest method, but it doesn't develop your listening skills, which you'll need to develop if you want to cultivate other skills on the cigar box guitar. So we're gonna go over the easy method first so you can just get up and running and playing. And then we're going to go over the method I call the do sol do method. These syllables are referring to movable do solfeggio, and I will talk a little bit about how that works. Okay? So let's talk about the fret 7 to fret 5 method. If you place your slide on fret number 7, you will get the pitch for the 2nd string. And if they don't match, you make adjustments. Let's talk about the headstock for a moment, because you gotta know how to make those adjustments. A lot of CBG builders have tuning pegs on the left side and the right side of the neck, all right? When you have this configuration, the direction you move the peg has a different effect on the string. When you want to tune up on the left side, you turn it up. When you want to tune down on the left side, you tune it down. On the right side, when you want to tune up, you turn the pegs down. When you want to tune down, you turn the pegs up. Yeah, and so that's common practice when stringing up and tuning up a guitar using left and right tuning pegs. Now, sometimes the configuration is you may have 2 pegs on this side and 1 on this side. The rule still applies. It doesn't matter if there's just 1 on this side and 2 on this side, or 2 on this side and 1 on this side. The rules still apply. Okay, so I detuned this thing pretty badly just now. We definitely don't have the relationships we need anymore. First things first, how can I forget? We need to decide what pitch we want this string to be in. I like that low note, but it's gonna be a little too garbly, so I'm gonna turn it up. Since this is the left peg, I'm gonna turn it up to go up. Okay, that's a nice note to be tuned to on this guitar. Okay, now I want to know what the middle string is going to sound like. So I'm going to take my slide and place my slide on fret number 7. That's the note I need. And coincidentally, I match. So I don't have to do anything with that middle string. Now, if I want the pitch of the last string, I'm going to place my slide on fret number 5 on the middle string. That is lower in pitch. We do not match. So we're gonna turn this guy up. Now, this string has the peg on the right side. So if I want to go up, I have to turn my peg down. All right, so here's number 5. Okay, we match. Now let's check to see that we have a perfect octave between first string and third string. Yeah, we do. All right. So that's the fret 7, fret 5 method. Let's talk about the do, sol, do method. I'm using movable do solfeggio. This is how movable do works. I set up a little chart for you guys here. In movable do, do is always scale degree 1. Whether you're in a major, minor, Dorian, Phrygian, Mixolydian, do is always scale degree 1. To clarify, these syllables represent relationships in music. They do not represent pitch classes or specific frequencies. That's how fixed do is used. That's the European system, and unless you were born with perfect pitch, that system won't work well for you. This system gives you a reference point on how to recognize relationships in music by ear without having to look at a score or anything. The reason I like movable do is because you only need to learn one reference in order to hear any type of relationships you want in music. And that reference is the major scale. Most of us, whether we use the syllables or not, can sing the major scale up and down. Whether it be do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do. Or if you're using numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Or if you're just going la 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 la. Most of us in the audience can sing a major scale, and because if you can sing it, you can hear it, and you can contextualize what you hear. In movable do training, you learn how to sing the major scale very, very, very well, up and down, and then skip around on all the scale degrees. There's a pattern that in the past, when I used to teach ear training, I would go through with my students so they really get a feel for the relationships of the scale degrees of the major scale. The pattern that I used to teach, and I didn't make this pattern up, I learned it from a teacher who taught me ear training. Do, re, mi, re, do, fa, mi, re, do, sol, la, ti, do, do. We're going to use this for tuning for now, but if you decide to use this method for tuning your instrument, you're preparing yourself to do other things with a cigar box guitar. For example, if you want to learn a riff, or you want to learn a melody on the cigar box guitar, but can't find any info on how to play it online, well, if you could hear the scale degrees, the relationships between the notes of that melody, you can pick it out on the guitar, especially if you have a handy dandy hidden fret markings like mine that include the scale degrees of your cigar box guitar. Again, this instrument only works in one key, so it's okay to have scale degree markings on the side. All right? And so this is how these scale degrees translate into the solfeggio. Do is obviously scale degree 1, re scale degree 2. In a major key, mi is scale degree 3, me in a minor key is flat 3. Fa, scale degree 4, scale degree 4. Sol, scale degree 5. La is scale degree 6 in the major key, but if you flatten La, you get flat 6, and flat 6 is lay. All right. We have T, that's scale degree 7 in a major key. In a minor key, we have flat 7. We don't have scale degree 7, we have flat 7 is a half step lower. So we use te as a syllable for that, and then we're back to do. That's how the syllables translate to the scale degrees that are on the fret markings on the side of my cigar box guitars. But anyways, let's do our scale degree recognition exercise, and we prepare for that singing the scale up and down and then singing the pattern. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, la, sol, fa, mi, re, do, and then do our pattern. Do, re, mi, re, do, fa, mi, re, do, sol, la, ti, do, do. Now we have the relationships ingrained in us. So if I skip around on the major scale, I bet you'll be able to pick it out. So this is do, fa, mi, sol, ti, do, la, sol. Okay? Do, re, mi, re, do, fa, mi, re, do, sol, la, ti, do, do. I bet you know what that sounds like. According to the context we set up, sol, mi, fa, ti, re, do. Now, keeping this context in mind, say we're tuning a CBG. We need 1-5-1 to tune a CBG by ear, meaning we need do, sol, do. So if this is do, we're going to select this as our first string do. You could already hear the second sound in your head without using the fret method. Sol, do. You already know what it sounds like even before touching a fret marker on your fingerboard. Oh, sorry, I slapped the mic. And again, this method, if you haven't had any ear training before, might be a little cumbersome, but trust me, later, when we're talking about how to figure out how to play riffs you like without having to look up any music or anything, this is what you're going to need. So, might as well get used to using it now. Okay, let's detune a CBG and let's use the do, sol, do method. Here is a bugger that loves to be out of tune. Whoa. All the time. Let's plug this guy in. It's beautiful. It's totally out of tune. All right, so let's tune this thing. Let's pick our do. That's gonna be my do. Now, how do I establish that as do in my head? What I like to do is sing do, ti, do. When you really dig into T, scale degree 7 of a major key, that do becomes ingrained into you. You have it. Do, ti, do. Now we're gonna figure out what the middle strings should sound like without touching the fretboard, without doing the fret 7, fret 5 method. So if this is do, what we need is do, sol, do. Do, ti, do. If this is do, what is sol? Try to get it in, hear it in your head and sing it. Do, sol, do, sol. Now, if you weren't able to get that, all you have to do is sing the major scale to get to sol. Do, re, mi, fa, sol. So that is the note we need for the middle. Let's take it up to do, sol, do, sol. There you go. Now we got the first two strings tuned. Do, sol. Now you can either sing sol to do, or you could just make sure you have an octave between the first and the last string. Do we have do to do? We don't. That's flat. I'm gonna bring it up to do. Do, do. So we just tuned by ear using the fret 7, fret 5 method and the do, sol, do method. We're going to pick up next week on tuning with piano tuner for ensemble playing. Again, these instruments, these 3-string fretless guys with 151 tuning, when you configure them that way, if you configure them in any way, really, they can only function in one key and in all parallel keys. So you're going to want more than one instrument if you're playing in multiple keys in a set with other people. And I'm going to show you how to use piano tuner to tune to a specific key. Again, piano tuner is not a guitar tuner, it's just a fundamental frequency tracker, and that's going to help us out tuning for ensemble playing. And another thing that we need to discuss in as far as tuning are string limits. You can tune down as far as you want. If you want garbly, you can even go into the garble. Yeah, you're safe tuning down, but tuning up beyond what a string was designed to do, you can run into problems when you go above a major second. I've pushed it up to a minor third. I've popped strings going up a minor third a lot. You can make it work if your strings are well stretched. Next week, after we go through the piano tuner thing, I'll show you how to find a major second and how to find a minor third, so that you know, okay, this string was designed for, I don't know, E4. All right, what's a minor third above that? I'll show you how to figure that out. And you can do that with the aid of piano tuner very easily. So I'm gonna leave you with my goodbye animation. Chaito.